Hey Ron, 1988. This is gonna be my video response to your newest video. What is the best horror film of the last decade or film? It's kind of hard for me, so if I can, I'm just gonna talk about some of the best horror movies and show the ones that I picked, or best films of the last decade or so that I really and personally enjoyed, and I'd like to see what you think about it. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, the first one here is, that I picked, The Strangers. Now, I know a lot of people didn't like this movie. I don't know why they didn't like it. I think it's just mostly because of its bare bones plot, or, there's really not a lot to it. But I thought this was a very creepy, very atmospheric, and very realistic horror movie. It relied more on, I guess what old Hollywood would say, and like Hitchcockian, more on suspense than, I mean there is some blood and there is some gore in this movie, but it doesn't use a lot of that like recent films like Saw, the Hostel movies, where that's just in your face for the enjoyment basically. This I thought relied more on suspense than anything, and I thought it was very creepy and very atmospheric. So, The Strangers. This is one of the ones you picked. I would have to agree. It is a lot like the original Texas Chainsaw, Wolf Creek. It's another very realistic horror movie. You get to meet these kids. You get a lot of character development with them, and slowly but surely, they basically get picked off. But this is an excellent movie. It's all shot in Australia. The cinematography, the landscapes, everything about this movie is beautiful. So yeah, that was another one that you picked, Wolf Creek. One of my personal favorites, Wrong Turn. No, this isn't an original horror movie I mean, at least it's not a remake is basically what I'm saying. I mean, how many horror movies have we seen where there's a killer or killers in the woods hunting down people? But I thought this one did it very well. Cannibalistic mountain men in this one, and I just overall really enjoyed Wrong Turn. Wrong Turn 2, it was alright. But the first one I saw it in the theaters, and then I immediately bought the DVD when it came out. But a very effective horror movie. So, Wrong Turn. Another one that a lot of people crapped on for some reason. Again, kind of like The Strangers. I guess it's just this bare premise, and a lot of people don't like that, but oh well. P2. It's a newer, recent horror movie. Again, more of a suspense thriller. First off, I think parking garages in general are creepy, so when this movie came out, I found this movie to be very good and very creepy because, as I said, the parking garages, in my opinion, are very creepy places. And I thought this was another very good horror movie. A lot of people dumped on it. But very creepy, very effective, and I thought the acting wasn't too bad. I mean, a lot of people said that Wes Bentley's acting in this movie was cheesy and over the top and hokey, but look at the character he's playing. So I mean, but I really like this one, P2. This one is Donnie Darko, the director's cut. It's an excellent movie. The visuals are stunning, the movie's stunning, the cinematography's stunning, the cast is great, the acting's good. Well, it's better than good, I guess. It's great. But yeah, it's one of those movies from the last decade or so that a lot of people have enjoyed. Some people hate it, but it has its own little cult following, I'd say. But Jake Gyllenhaal does a really good job. Jenna Malone did a very good job. All the cameos did a very good job. It's a very weird movie, but on its own, it's a really good movie. Definitely one to look at and see if you haven't seen it yet. But I know a lot of people that have. But this is the Donnie Darko director's cut. Another one I'm going to talk about is Feast. This was one of the Project Greenlight films. and from the executive producers of Wes Craven, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and Chris Moore. Feast, unrated. You know, people stuck in a bar and there's creatures outside. Again, I can give this movie all the credit. At least it's not a remake. I mean, yeah, the premise has been done before, but at least someone has a brain out there and is thinking in Hollywood to some degree. You know, I don't understand with all the remakes and stuff, but whatever. Feast, I really like this movie. Definitely pick it up if you haven't seen it. The first one's the best. I finally got around to watching part 2. It was okay, and Feast 3 just now came out on DVD, but I haven't seen that one yet. But Feast. Yes. Grindhouse. This is definitely one of the best films of the last decade, in my opinion. And I look at Grindhouse as all as one film. Planet Terror and Death Proof as, you know, one big movie, because that's the way I saw it in theater and that's the way that I fell in love with it. Now, I know that the studio did release these separately, but I got this. It's a DVD rip from the Japanese set, and this is the full theatrical version with all the fake trailers and everything. So, definitely Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino's Grindhouse from this past, you know, when did this come out? 2007. Very good movie. This is the way that everyone should be able to see it, but maybe one day the U.S. will get an official DVD release and everyone can see it, but until then. Another one that I really liked a lot in recent times, Hatchet, the unrated director's cut. Again, not original, you know, killer in the woods killing people. We've seen this before, but again, it's not a remake. You know, someone out there, again, has a brain in Hollywood. You know, I could see like 20 movies that are like Wrong Turn or Killer in the Woods, and I could be happy, and they could all be named something different. You know, but, you know, it's like everyone wants to jump on the bandwagon these days and do remakes. And don't get me wrong, there have been a couple remakes here and there that I have really enjoyed. Again, I haven't really liked them. I've never liked a remake more than the original, though. Just want to clarify that. But, yeah, Hatchet, very gory, it was just fun. It was a fun 80s style slasher. Adam Green did an excellent job. So, yeah, definitely picked up this. And Kane Hodder was awesome as Victor Crowley. And then my last two that I'm going to talk about. The first one being Danny Boyle, 28 Days Later, and then the sequel, 28 Weeks Later. I found these both to be very effective, very awesome films. This was actually the first of its kind to start the whole new virus-infected people. They're not so much zombies. I mean, I guess to a degree they are, but more or less they're just rabid-infected people. And this was also the start of the moving fast zombie infected thing, which kind of spawned itself into the Dawn of the Dead remake a little bit. But 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later are definitely, in my opinion, is an excellent franchise. And there is talk that Danny Boyle actually wants to come back and do 28 Months Later, and I think that would be the last one, he says. So if Danny Boyle is going to sign on to that and move forward with 28 Months Later, I think it would be really interesting to see what they come up with. Because this one's my favorite, 28 Days Later, and then the sequel, it was good, but well, again, not as great as the original one, but it's still an excellent sequel. Great follow-up. But yeah, that was my movies from the last decade or so that I really enjoyed, and I know it was kind of hard for me just to pick one, so that's why I picked all of those and wanted to talk about them. So I hope you enjoy this, and I'd like to see what other people have to say. Thanks.